The first owner of a luxury car is a sucker. They pay $100,000 for the privilege of peeling the plastic off the seats. 5 years later, they sell it for $30,000. They just lost $70,000. That is your profit. Depreciation is the greatest wealth transfer in the car industry, but you have to be careful. Most cheap luxury cars are financial grenades waiting to blow up your wallet. However, I have found 10 specific super luxury cars that have hit rock bottom prices, but, and this is critical, they are actually reliable. I am going to show you how to buy a car that looks like a CEO's bonus check for the price of a used Honda Civic. We start with the best-kept secret in the automotive world, the Hyundai Equus. If you take the badges off this car, your neighbors will think you bought a Mercedes S-Class or a Bentley. Hyundai built this to compete with the Germans, but they priced it so high that nobody bought it. Now, you can pick them up for $11,000. But here's why it's on this list. The engine. It uses the 5.0-liter Tau V8. This is a 429 horsepower monster. It's naturally aspirated, meaning no turbos to blow up. It is widely considered one of the most reliable V8s ever made. Inside, you get a refrigerator in the center console, reclining rear seats, and air suspension. Warning, the air suspension will fail eventually. It's about $500 per corner to fix. But honestly, for a V8 limo that costs less than a Corolla, that is a maintenance bill I am willing to pay. If you want to feel like a transporter, you buy the Audi A8. This is the D4 generation. It's built on an aluminum space frame, which means it is lighter and stronger than steel. It will never rust. Most people are scared of used Audis because of the V8 engines. They are right to be scared. The V8s are nightmares. Here's the secret. You must buy the 3.0T. This is a supercharged V6, not a turbo. It is the same engine used in the Audi S4. It is robust, tunable, and reliable. You get the flagship looks, the massive interior, and the Quattro all-wheel drive, but you avoid the $10,000 turbo repairs of the V8 model. The mechanic warning, watch out for the PCV valve and the thermostat. They're plastic and they break around 80,000 miles. It's a $1,200 repair. Factor that in, and you have a $90,000 car for $14,000. Nobody knows what this car is. That is your advantage. The Infiniti Q70L. The L stands for long wheelbase. It has more legroom than a standard S-Class. This car suffers from massive depreciation because the interior design is a bit old school, but mechanically, it is a tank. You want the 5.6-liter V8. This is the same engine found in the Nissan Titan and Patrol. It is built for abuse. It produces 420 horsepower and sounds like a muscle car. Because it uses a traditional 7-speed automatic transmission, no CVTs here, it drives beautifully. You can find these with the V8 and all-wheel drive for under $15,000. It's the most reliable V8 luxury sedan you can buy that isn't a Lexus. This is the rarest car on this list, the Acura RLX Sport Hybrid. Acura made a mistake marketing this car. They made it look boring, but underneath, it shares the same hybrid technology as the Acura NSX supercar. It uses a V6 driving the front wheels and 2 independent electric motors driving the rear wheels. This creates torque vectoring. It corners like a Porsche. It has 377 horsepower, does 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, and gets 30 mpgs in the city. Because nobody bought them new, they plummeted in value. You get the dual-eye LED headlights and Honda reliability. The only warning is that parts are rare. If you crash it, finding a new bumper takes weeks. But mechanically, it's a Honda. It runs forever. If you want to float down the highway, you want the Cadillac XTS. This replaced the old DeVille and DTS. It was built for one thing: comfort. It comes standard with magnetic ride control. This is the same suspension system Ferrari uses. It reads the road 1,000 times a second and adjusts the shocks instantly. Under the hood is the 3.6-liter V6. It's decent. It's cheap to fix. The mechanic warning, the Q infotainment screen. The touch screens on these cars are notorious for delaminating and cracking in the heat. It looks like a spider web. Replacing the screen is a $1,000 job. If you look at a used one, touch the screen. If it doesn't respond, negotiate $1,000 off the price immediately. Volvo is known for safety, but for a few crazy years, they wanted speed. They hired Yamaha, the motorcycle company, to build them a V8. The result is the Volvo S8 V8. This engine is a masterpiece. It is compact, sounds like a Ferrari, and surprisingly reliable. The car itself is built like a tank. Thick steel, incredible seats, and all-wheel drive. These cars are unbelievably cheap right now, often under $8,000, because people are scared of European V8s. The warning? The alternator. Because the engine is so big, they hid the alternator deep inside. Replacing it is a nightmare labor job, but once it's done, you have a 311 horsepower sleeper that is safer than anything else on the road. Buying a cheap used BMW usually is financial suicide, but there is one exception, the 2011 BMW 528i. You must get the 2011 model year specifically. Why? Because it's the last year they used the N52 inline-6 engine. This engine has no turbos, no direct injection. It is the most reliable engine BMW made in the modern era. In 2012, they switched to the N24 cylinder turbo, which I told you in the engine video is a plastic grenade. The 2011 F10 gives you the modern body style with the old-school reliable engine. It looks like a $30,000 car, but you can find them for $9,000. It is the sweet spot. We mentioned this briefly before, but it deserves a deep dive because the value has dropped even further. The Lincoln Continental. This car failed because everyone wanted SUVs. Their loss is your gain. Some rare black label models even have coach doors that open backward like a Rolls Royce. But even the standard model feels special. The door handles are hidden in the chrome trim. The seats adjust 30 different ways. Underneath, it's a Ford Taurus. Parts are cheap. Any mechanic can fix it. These stickered for $70,000 new. You can find them now for $16,000. That is an 80% drop for a car that is still modern, fast, and incredibly comfortable. Ask a taxi driver in Germany what the best car ever made is. They will say the W212 E-Class, specifically the facelift models from 2014 to 2016. This was the last time Mercedes built cars to a standard, not a price. It uses the M276 V6. It is naturally aspirated and bulletproof. The interior materials wear like iron. The doors close with a solid thud that you don't get in the newer models. The mechanic warning, the wood trim on the dashboard tends to fade in the sun. That's it. That's the big problem. You can buy a pristine E350 for $12,000. It commands respect in any valet line, and it will likely outlast the new E-Class that costs $80,000. And finally, the king of value, the Lexus LS460. We talked about the older LS430, but the LS460 is faster, bigger, and looks much more modern. It uses the 4.6-liter V8 pushing 380 horsepower. It is silent at 100 miles per hour. It has soft closed doors, a heated steering wheel, and radar cruise control in 2010. The mechanic warning, control arms. This is a heavy car. It eats front suspension bushings every 60,000 miles. It's an expensive repair, about $2,000. Also, check the brake actuator. If it clicks when you press the pedal, it's failing. But even with those repairs, you are getting a $90,000 car for $12,000. It is the closest thing to a private jet for the road. Buying a cheap luxury car is smart, but buying a disposable car is financial suicide. There are 5 modern cars designed to die the moment the warranty expires. Avoid them at all costs. Click here.